Moving on to the Unification Ministry's presentation, the spotlight was on the existing policy of re-engaging with the regime, as well as plans to work with the public to build a consensus on the nation's path towards peace and unification. For a closer look, we turn to our Kwon Jang-ho.
The Unification Ministry presented its policy goals on Wednesday with two broad agendas. The first was to carry out the objectives outlined in President Moon's Berlin address last month. That involves re-establishing lines of communication with the regime and continuing to pursue talks to end border hostilities and restart separated family reunions. Those talks were initially proposed to take place in July and August, but so far Pyongyang has given no response. Cultural and humanitarian exchanges will also be pushed, such as finding ways for North Korea to be involved in next year's Winter Olympics in PyeongChang.
Of course, there is so much we can do by ourselves, as North Korea also needs to engage as a counterpart. But President Moon and the ministry have not stopped sending the message that our door for dialogue is open, and we are also pursuing other means to reach out.
However, it's the ministry's second aim of involving the public more in its future policies that is perhaps a departure from before. The ministry describes how it plans to raise people's awareness towards the need for peace and unification, while at the same time consulting with the people on how to achieve that. It will involve consulting with state agencies, politicians, civic groups, as well as plans to start a program that collects public opinion on these issues.
In the past, policy discussions only came from the central government or political pundits. We now want to include local governments, civic groups, and experts in general to fulfill our agenda of communication and participation and see if we can form a public consensus towards unification.
Although the Moon administration has once again called for dialogue with North Korea, there's now an emphasis on public consensus, highlighting Moon's pre-election pledge to communicate more with the public. However, with such a thorny issue like North Korea, opinions are likely to vary, and focus will now turn to whether they can indeed be reflected in future policy. Kwon Jang-ho, Arirang News.